Now these are the names of the sons of Israel who came to Egypt with Jacob. Each came with his household: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, Dan and Naphtali, Gad and Asher. All the descendants of Jacob were 70 people. Joseph was already in Egypt. This next part has some notes, so I'm going to read the notes. I'll read these notes right here as I show them. In general, sons, children, descendants of Israel or Israelites refers to all the people, males and females, of the various tribes descended from the 12 sons. Genesis 35:23 through 26. Of Jacob, later renamed Israel by God. In verses concerning things such as warfare or circumcision, sons of Israel or Israelites usually refers only to the males. Tribes of ancient people were identified by the name of their founding ancestor. Therefore, this same general rule applies when referring to individual tribal groups, e.g., sons of Reuben, Reubenites, and so throughout. The next verse here in the Amplified says, over 200 years have passed since the death of Joseph. That's what they're saying here. I don't know whether that's true. I'm not going to worry about it, but that's what the Amplified says right here. All right, so there's some more notes coming up, but I'm just going to start reading again in the Amplified. Then Joseph died, and all his brothers, and all that generation. But the Israelites were prolific and increased greatly. They multiplied and became extremely strong, so that the land was filled with them. So here's some new notes here. This one says, in the Amplified here, the political attitude toward the Israelites living in Egypt changed from friendly and welcoming to suspicious and hostile, and Israel's struggle for existence led to one of the most dramatic and memorable interventions that God would make in human history. Over here, this note says, the identity of this Pharaoh is uncertain. Some scholars think he was Ahmose, Ahmose, one, or the first, 1570 to 1546 BC, founder of the 18th dynasty of Egypt's new kingdom, or Amos's successor, Amenhotep I, or first, 1546 through 1525 BC. Others believe that this pharaoh was one of the first of the Hyksos rulers. The Hyksos were foreign invaders. Okay, so I'll just read some more now in the Amplified, because these notes in here, right here, are done, though more notes are coming up, or at least one note I can see. Now a new king arose over Egypt, who did not know Joseph, nor the history of his accomplishments. And here's another note here. It says, this is the first record of the descendants of Israel, Jacob, being regarded as a separate nation. It says also, see Genesis 34:7 and note. Okay. So I'm just going to continue to read here in the Amplified. He said to his people, behold, the people of the sons of Israel are too many and too mighty for us. They greatly outnumber us. Come, let us deal shrewdly with them, so that they will not multiply, and in the event of war, join our enemies and fight against us and escape from the land. So they set taskmasters over them to oppress them with hard labor. And the sons of Israel built Pithom, Pithom, or Pithom, I don't know, and Ramses, Raamses, as storage cities for Pharaoh. But the more the Egyptians oppressed them, the more they multiplied and expanded, so that the Egyptians dreaded and were exasperated by the Israelites. And the Egyptians made the Israelites serve rigorously, forcing them into severe slavery. They made their lives bitter with hard labor in mortar, brick, and all kinds of field work. All their labor was harsh and severe. Then the king of Egypt said to the Hebrew midwives, one of whom was named Shiphrah, Shiphrah, and it says here in the Amplified that means beauty, and the other named Puah, Puah, and the Amplified says here it means splendor. Puah means splendor, the Amplified is saying. This is what the king of Egypt said to them, quote, when you act as midwives to the Hebrew women and see them on the birth stool, if it is a son, you shall kill him, but if it is a daughter, she shall live, unquote. But the midwives feared God with profound reverence and did not do as the king of Egypt commanded, but they let the boy babies live. So the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said to them, quote, why have you done this thing and allowed the boy babies to live, unquote. The midwives answered Pharaoh, quote, because the Hebrew women are not like the Egyptian women. They are vigorous and give birth quickly, and their babies are born before the midwife can get to them, unquote. So God was good to the midwives, and the people of Israel multiplied and became very strong. And because the midwives feared God, let's see, there's a note in this verse, so I'm going to read the note first. Well, actually, it says, well, let me just show you. It says, and because the midwives feared God with profound reverence, he established families and households for them. So it says, and because the midwives feared God with profound reverence, he literally, as you can see, made them houses. And the Amplified just says, and because the midwives feared God with profound reverence, he established families and households for them. Okay, there's another note in the next part. As you can see, I'm just going to read the note. If the early date of the Exodus, 1446 BC, is acknowledged, as most conservative scholars hold, then this pharaoh is likely Thutmose, Thutmose, 1525 to 1512 BC. Thutmose I, or the first. I don't know what this means by conservative scholars, but anyway, okay. So I'm going to read that verse, which is the last verse in this first chapter of Exodus. Then Pharaoh commanded all his people, saying, every son who is born to the Hebrews must be thrown into the Nile, but every daughter you shall keep alive.